start shortly. You can close this window. I think we're gonna not do that. What? Okay, so I think welcome to live chat. So it looks like we are officially live on YouTube right now. So this is a first for me. I don't know. All right. I'm not sure what's happening. Hey, what's up? What's up, man? Welcome to my first YouTube live stream. I don't know if you can see my screen. It looks like something's all messed up and I don't know what it is. I'm gonna probably be messing around a little bit to make sure you can see what I'm displaying. I don't know what this game backdrop is. That's not fun. I don't like that. All right, so that's gone. That's good. That's gone. I don't know what this is either. What is this? I don't know why this isn't working. I'm supposed to be doing Procreate stuff right now. So it should be technically working. I don't know what this is. Webcam, that's on. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I got to add another source again. Hang on. Sorry, guys. All right, so I got to do display capture, add source, display capture. Yes, add source. I need to. Did I turn that off? I might have turned off this air server thing. Hang on. None. Display. Hang on a second, guys. I'm sorry. Trying to figure this all out. I had it working a second ago, but it looks like it's not working. And yeah, first stream. I'm super excited. Sorry, I'm trying to figure it all out as I go. So this is a test. I'm going to order a pizza, and then I'm going to eat that pizza, and then I'm going to do some drawing. I was gonna schedule it for like 7, so like thanks for tuning in. I'm pretty stoked. Let's see. Add new source. I'm just trying to figure this out why it's not working. All right, so it should be a window capture. And when I turn this on, screen mirroring. It's iMac. Nope, I don't need to mirror it. Is that what it's trying to do? All right, there we go. So that's what I'm doing. Let's see, window capture, add source. Okay, now it should be, let's turn that off. And then this should be on. Still not working. Weird. Okay, so I have this on. My mini feed isn't showing. I don't know what's going on with this thing. This thing's being all sorts of weird right now. Let's see. Labels, display. I had this like going for a bit. Now it just seems to not work at all. Why is that doing that? All right, hang on a second. I gotta turn that off. This guy should be turned on. I'm gonna pull it up real quick and see if it's working or not. I think it's all messed up. There we go. So you should be seeing this screen here, but I don't know if it's actually displaying the stream or not. Why is this so confusing? Let me hide that. All right, that's hidden. I don't know what that is. All right, I'll keep that on. Sorry, this has been like so terrible. Like this is the worst stream ever. I don't know why this isn't working. I'm gonna try. So I have this display capture on here. That's the whole screen. Turn that back on. Whoop. All right. So I got this. It should just be capturing this and not. Why is this so hard? All right. Remove this thing. Okay, remove it. All right. So this is the air server window. Add. Let's see. Window capture. That's what I'm going for. That's why it's not working. It's all dumb. All right, so it should just be my iPad. Add new source instead. I don't need a window capture. All right, Procreate. Add source, select an option. There we go. All right, sick. So it's up there now. I don't know why this was so awful to begin with, but it's there. We're good. I got the layout. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Nope, that's wrong. This is so hard to figure out. Well, thanks for sitting through while I figure this out, man. I appreciate it. Okay, sick. So I got it going. I'm going to try to share this link right now, I guess. And then I'm going to start drawing. I've been working on this piece for a few days. I don't know how the color's coming up. I don't know what else to do for drawing. This is like going to be a test, but I'm pumped it's working because it wasn't working before. I don't know what the deal is with these weird banners and stuff going on right now. I'm just going to let them be. So yeah, I'm going to share this stream. I don't know how to share this stream. I guess I should pull up YouTube and see where I am. So yeah, I should be live right now. I don't know like how to view that. Okay. I should be live. Going live. Oh no, I already am live. What is it doing? Don't do that. Get out of here. All right. Okay, cool. So I should be live, it says, on my channel. Let me pull this thing up in super chat. Okay, sick. Okay, so now I can see myself on the screen a little bit better. This is a little bit easier. What's up, man? How are you? So yeah, the first stream. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to try to share this now. I don't know how else I can do that. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm going to share this. I'm going to start drawing it a little bit. I've been working on this piece for a couple days. I haven't really worked on it since, so I'm just kind of going to go through and talk about it and then maybe sketch some other stuff if you guys have suggestions. My main goal is to try to see if I can get 10 people watching the stream tonight. So I'm going to share this right now and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm going to share this on Facebook and like all my other social media. Oop, wrong keyboard. That's embarrassing. Okay, there we go. Boom. So that's on there. And let's see. I don't know where else to put this. Nobody follows me on Twitter. I don't know why it always tells me to do Twitter. Okay. All right. Rant over. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of like a speed drawing. I don't know what these weird things are on the screen right now. They're like little animations. Also, the screen like resolution looks really weird. It's not right. Let's see. Yeah, that looks really off, actually. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this all figured out. It's such a confusing thing to do. Let's see. Yeah, it's like crushing the image way down. The quality's dropped a lot. I don't know if I can fix that. The webcam is also pretty bad. Let's see. All right, so I have the Streamlabs app open, and it should kind of show everything. I don't know what this weird theme is right now. I don't know. And it's very, very 1930s movie, actually. Sorry, I'm seeing the chat now. It's like not showing them simultaneously. Yeah, so this is Bela Lugosi. If you don't know who he is, but he was like the original Dracula in the most popular Dracula film, the Universal film from like the 30s. So the film's almost 100 years old. He's a really fascinating person in general as far as characters go and kind of been a hero of mine forever. So I wanted to sort of do a bit of a portrait, learning to do some digital painting. I'm going to do a time-lapsed video on the actual main channel this week. So it'll show the whole process of drawing him. So basically how this started was I grabbed a sketch. I think you guys can see that here. So this is one of the more popular stills from the movie. So I took that and then I actually made a bit of a painting with a bunch of different layers on here. Not sure how well that's showing up on screen, but basically what I did is I made a rough sketch with some line drawings. I actually ended up, let me turn some layers off so you guys can kind of see what I started with and what I'm planning to edit. So there's a lot of layers on here that are still like not so decided yet. Okay, so let's see. A little hard to see. Hang on, I'm sorry. Okay, so I have the sketch right here, and it's pretty much the same color as the background. I'm going to add one more layer, and we'll just make it so you guys can see everything. Let's see. All right. So I'm trying to move this layer down. Just going to move it down underneath the sketch layer. We're going to fill it with red. All right, so this is a sketch that I started with from the image. So I just used one of like the really simple plastic tools, or not plastic tools, one of the simple Procreate brushes. Sorry, I'm like thinking about sculpting stuff for the next video. So yeah, I used the Procreate pencil, I believe, for most of this sketch. Let's see. Yeah. Where is it? Sketching. All right, so I use the Procreate pencil all the time. It's one of my favorite brushes, and it's free and comes with Procreate, so that's kind of awesome. The screen colors are way off, so this looks really intense on your screen, but I also use a matte screen protector, so it looks like I wanted to figure out why the contrast is so ridiculous and so bad. But usually what I'll do is I'll draw on a sketch layer, and then I'll start building up values from there. So first what I do is I do the sketch. It's a pretty rough sketch. So you know it's pretty rough. Hang on, sorry, reading the chat real quick. Oh yeah. So the video will fully be out hopefully tomorrow. I'm just doing some final tweaks tonight and just testing out the live stream. So if you guys like the live stream stuff, I will do a lot more of it, especially right now with everything going on in the world and being unemployed. So here's the sketch, and then I'll usually start with a fairly rough sketch. I try to capture most of the facial structure details right away. You know, the shape of the jawline, shape of the head, where key features of the person's characteristics really shine through on the image I'm using for reference. So the image I used for reference was this one, like I was saying before. So this is the main image that I used in reference for doing this drawing. So what I basically do is I find the key components and find all the shadows and highlights, and then I'll do a layer of shadows and highlights. So that's what this layer is here. It's pretty rough, and I did the eyes rendered separately. That's why there's all this weird, I don't even know what to say what this is. That's why that looks all creepy, is because I rendered the eyes separately because I really wanted to get the detail in there. So let me just turn the eyes on so we don't have some Children of the Corn looking thing. All right, there we go. So that's the basic tonal value of the face that I wanted to add, and then I did the hair separately, and I added some of the shadow layers separately as well. So I have a skin tone, then I throw a skin tone on there with a blending mode, and then I use color mapping, which is essentially like a process of how you kind of pick the different values on the face, and a lot of painters use this. So let me turn off the shadow layer real quick so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. So the color mapping here with like the pinks and everything, it's just gonna be a little difficult to see. I'm gonna turn this back on. So you can kind of see there's like some yellow tones and there's some blue tones here, some pinks and reds. And then when you throw the shadows underneath it, you really see how those kind of develop the features of the face. And those are typically the areas of the face when light hits it, what you see on the skin. So when you get close to someone with pale skin, you can actually see some of these tones in their skin tone, which are kind of dispersed throughout different areas of the face. You know, the ears and stuff will be pretty red, cheeks are pretty red, under the eyes are usually pretty dark and cool, jawline, stuff like that. And then I use another blending layer, I'm going to turn this first one off, of different color values, which help kind of mute it out to give you like a bit more of that really deep painterly look. So when you merge the two, you get these different tones here. Now, it's still pretty bright, so what I ended up doing is I actually added a couple shadow layers to this to really kind of help accentuate the features of the face a bit more without having to really rely on just black lines to make it look more painterly, because I do a lot of painterly styled things. So I added this first shadow layer, which really darkened around the eyes and parts of the cheeks and whatnot up here. And then on the hair, I did it as a separate layer as well for the eyebrows and everything. Now, we have a lot of contrast on here, so to kind of neutralize that, instead of sticking with the classic satin on the internals of the cape, I made a new layer for that as well, and wanted to kind of give this a bit more of my bit of an artistic choice on here with what I chose for colors. So I have the collars here. I went with the classic red, even though in the film it's black and white, and I believe it's actually supposed to be like a purple. But we're going to go with the red. So you guys can let me know what you think about that. We got the black on the collar. I have the drips here, which I'm still kind of on the fence about. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think of them. I think they're kind of cool and a bit of kind of my style. But sort of just to break up what this image looks like. All right, turn this back on. And then the shading in there. And then bam. So that was pretty much the drawing. For the most part, and then I had the font that I made. And let me read some of these comments, sorry. Hey man, yeah, I feel you. Sorry to hear that you got laid off. That sucks. But hey, stay positive. Take the time to try to learn something new with the resources you have at hand. I know it's a super big struggle. I myself, as an illustrator and an artist, have struggled with that for years. You know, funds are always a hard thing to come by when it comes to passion projects and dreams. So I think the best thing you can do is use the people around you and the resources that you have at your immediate disposal to really try to progress. When I had nothing and didn't even have a computer, I was drawing every day using any form of reference I could find, literally going to the public library here and taking books out and images on the subjects I wanted to learn about and draw. So I totally get that. It sucks and it's not easy at all. And I know it sounds easy when people say that stuff, but it's a challenge and it definitely takes commitment. So I feel you, man. I feel you. Just stay positive and keep trying to learn. But thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, I agree. The red on there is pretty good. I think it does add to the overall, tones on here. This is actually pretty close to what the original poster looked like. So usually when I'm going to start a project like this, I'll go back in the gallery and show you guys. I'll do a couple different sketches and whatnot, and I'll actually start with a bunch of reference images. And on the reference images, you can kind of see in here what my major inspiration was. So this is the classic photo here. This is a colorized photograph of Bella right here with the costume from Dracula. There's some other art reference that someone else had done a phenomenal painting with, which I am nowhere even close to that skill level. And then the original movie posters, I grabbed 2 of them. So, and a couple other face shots to get some details right. But the original poster, I think the likeness is really not super accurate to what he looked like. The nose is a bit altered. The face looks a bit pudgier than he really is in the film. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the times, really, and him being a non-American with an accent. This is being just after World War One. There's a lot of things going on that made it a little strange for some of the art and his overall career. If you look into it, it's just really messed up what happened to him as being a phenomenal actor, but just because he wasn't an American, he had a bit of a struggle most of his life. And anyone that's creating can definitely relate to that. So I think he's kind of a cool figure to really make some art about. But I actually like some of the other posters and color palettes from other weird things in pop culture relating to vampires. Batman obviously is a fun one to pull a color palette from. So I pulled all these images. I made a palette out of some of the colors that are in these images, and then what I'll do is I'll actually add those directly to my Procreate color palette, and I'll usually make one and add different tones and values. So this is the one that I used here. I didn't label it. I should have. I'm so bad at that, but I just made a quick palette, and that's how I get my colors typically. But the main thing I got to do now is that I have the image. Sorry, it was like my first time live streaming. I would talk a lot. So this is what I'm planning to do. Is I do like these drips. There's something about the font that I'm not super happy with. I tried doing a bit of like a ghosting around here. This might be easier for me to do in Photoshop because Procreate doesn't really allow me to have the proper techniques and tools I need to get a nice clean even stroke around here in an efficient amount of time. And also, after looking at some of these colors, how they appear on screen comparatively to how they look on my iPad because of the screen protector, this is much brighter than I originally intended this painting to look, but that's okay. I can tone it down. And I also think that it has something to do with the blending mode. I believe this file is in CYMK, I believe it is in CYMK because I do plan to print this, but I have some other pieces in here that look how I intended them. Like, oh nope, on the screen they look really bright on here too. It could be something that's in the settings of the live stream, but I'll post some stills of this. I mean, they're on Instagram. At least this one is. You can kind of see the intended color. So I don't know why it's that bright on the screen. And I look super washed out from the webcam too. Hang on, sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the comments and the mic's in my face where I can see it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, the complex color theory stuff, I'm terrible with it. I'm trying to get better with it. I just kind of pick colors I like, and I use apps and stuff that help me, render palettes a little bit better. And having a graffiti background, you can definitely tell my color palettes are very much so drawn to that. I don't know why the color is so off on here. I'm really sorry about that, guys. I'm going to try to see if I can get that figured out, but it is way off compared to some of the images that I have posted. I don't know why it's doing that. So I'm new to this streaming thing. Looks like we got 4 people in the stream. Welcome. It's not showing me everyone in the stream on here, but appreciate it. I'm going to start doing some of the drawing stuff now. I'm going to start a new little painting going, and I'm just going to sketch and mess around. So I'm going to do this in RGB because I'm going to post it online afterwards. And I'll have this one set up for a perfect Instagram square. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to just pull up some reference images. They're not going to show up on the screen here, but it'll just be a little bit easier for me to kind of see what's going on. Yeah, it looks like this is still kind of distorted a little bit. And there's a bit of a latency lag from what I'm doing to what's showing up on screen. So if it gets to the point where it's incomprehensible, let me know. I'm streaming from an iPad, so this is a little bit slower. There's going to be some latency to be expected. So I have just opened a new document. I'm going to be opening some other things up real quick just so I can kind of see some reference images. I usually use Pinterest for my reference images. Oh, wrong keyboard again. So like I said, I usually use Pinterest for I'm trying to draw. But I'm going to go on Pinterest and just pull up some of the boards I have. And I will be making some public boards for you guys if you ever want to check those out. I do have one Pinterest board that's public, but it's mainly my work, so it's not very exciting. But I do plan to do another board, which is going to be, reference images or things that I typically go to use when I'm looking for styles and color palettes and all that. But there's just a bunch of boards there. I'm not really sure what to draw today. I think I'll do some kind of simpler tattoo flash stuff. So people who have been following my stuff for a long time, you probably know what that stuff looks like, or my older illustrations. That's typically what I use. Let's see. Just got this going. All right. 6. So this is fixed now. It looks like. Sorry for that. There's a big amount of latency right now. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm going to try to see if I can get that fixed at some point, but I think just right now, because of how this is set up, I need to get a capture card, and that's not in the budget right now, so that's okay. Um, yeah, it still looks like you guys can't see what I'm doing. I don't know what, like how long the lag is. There we go. All right, so there's a pretty substantial lag, about a minute. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to keep drawing, and you guys can keep asking questions. There's still only 3 people watching the stream at the moment, which is totally fine. It's a little bit easier to see what's happening on the Streamlabs screen than it is to see it on the YouTube screen, and that has a little bit of a different property to it. So there we go. Got that going, and I'm just going to pull up the reference images again just so I can kind of see some stuff to look at while I'm trying to draw. All right, I'm going to put that over the YouTube channel right here. All right, there we go. So yeah, I got some reference images pulled up, looking pretty good. I don't have a second monitor, which would be ideal to look at these because it's a little hard to see. So I'm going to just put this over my audio mix. There we go. Move the stream over. And yeah, I'm going to close this and see if that helps. Okay. I don't know if that helps, but you guys can type down below if it's helping, and let me know what's going on. All right. So I got the images pulled up now. I'm looking at some tattoo flash, and I'm not really sure what I want to draw. I'm just going to use it as a reference for style, not necessarily the same image. So if you guys have suggestions of something you would like to see in my style, definitely feel free to put it in the comment section, and we'll check it out. I'm going to be ordering food in a bit. So when that gets here, I'm just going to take a break, and I'll do a stream again because this was just supposed to be a test, but people started viewing it. So let's see. I'm trying to think of what else I can draw really, really fast. You know what would be kind of cool, actually? I could do some draw. And hang on one sec. Okay. All right, so I got the stand here. It's a pretty nice stand. I don't remember the name of the brand, but I'm going to be doing a bit of a little studio tour on the next video coming up. Okay, so I got the iPad on the stand, and we're going to start drawing, and we're going to use a couple tools here. One of the things I like to use, which I've been really excited about, is the reference guides that you can use inside of Procreate. So if you go into the canvas, where is it? Getting all the settings messed up, of course, as I go live. Let's see, drawing guides. You go in here, edit drawing guides, go to symmetry. We're going to just keep a really simple symmetry going. We're going to make the lines like a bright green, make the line pretty thick, and bring the opacity up so we can see it. Hit done. Now anything I draw on this side will be mirrored on the opposite side. So you can do the same thing in Photoshop, but this is just something I like to use when I'm drawing symmetrical objects, obviously like faces and bugs and stuff like that. So we're going to draw a cicada. They're kind of gross looking, but they're fun to draw. So we're going to draw just a simple design that we're going to give a tattoo flash and inspired look and see how it turns out. Ugh. So what have you guys been up to as well? I don't know. I feel weird just being like the one-way conversation here when I'm drawing. I usually listen to music or watch a movie, so this is definitely a new one for me. I don't know if I can do that on the stream. Huh. Yeah, $3,000 cream, like white cream canvas. I get the dislike on that, but also I understand. I'll take that money and make anyone a beautifully white or cream canvas. I think it comes down to more so about kind of who you know when it comes to more of the modern art. I get thrown in the modern art category all the time. Yeah, I did. Terrible Toys, what's up, dude? I did figure it out. It is a huge pain in the ass, but I did figure it out. I'm going to try to do a few more streams and stuff and hopefully up the quality and get the latency issues figured out, but figured it out. Let's see. Yeah, so like I was saying before, I always get thrown into sort of like the modern art category or contemporary, more so contemporary, I guess. But that's what happens when you do graffiti stuff or tattoo stuff that isn't really museum, not quality, but you really can't put it in a museum in the same way. So that happens a lot, and I'm like kind of over it. I don't really care at this point, but it used to really bother me because I was really into, more what you would consider fine art, I guess. Hang on, I gotta adjust the mic, keeps bumping the monitor. Yeah, so I was more into, traditional style drawing and painting, and I thought it was awesome. I wanted to be a printmaker really badly. Got into screen printing, and I still do some like woodcut stuff, but I never really pursued it in the same way. And like no one in my entire family really understood why I did art. Like my dad didn't get it at all. Like I lived with my great grandmother for the most part when I was a little kid, and she was really someone that harbored the artistic side for me. And she also did like all sorts of crafts. So I thought that's just like what you could do as an artist. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make stuff, and like that's art. And then when I got a little bit older and wanted to go to college, there pretty harsh realization that at the time wasn't something that was possible, but now it is. So it's kind of rad. And now I'm kind of like over the art labels or whatever. People want to throw my art into a specific category. I'm like, you guys can figure that out. I'm just going to keep making shit. Yeah, dude, the white canvas. If you can sell a white canvas to somebody, I don't know why. Like, do it. I wouldn't get mad about it. I would do it. I'd be like, yep, this is it. It has this deep backstory and meaning. Like I understand like that mentality for sure. I remember like my first few times going to New York and going into some of the galleries there, and I'd see some stuff and was like, who is buying this, or like who is this for? And then as you get kind of more into it, that stuff, and understand a bit of the like the culture of it, it makes sense. Doesn't necessarily give it value in my mind all the time. Like some of the stuff is clearly just someone who has the opportunity and privilege to make things, and they're making things that necessarily aren't the most innovative, but because of who they know or how they're able to spin a story, that's how they're able to kind of get that. Yeah, dude, the art culture in most scenes is pretty bad. And I'm pumped that some toy artists and independent designers and illustrators are keeping you hyped on the scene, because to be honest, it's really hard. I live in Boston, which has always been kind of a weird city for more contemporary styled artists. Um, you kind of got to know a lot of people within any major city to really have a career. And for me, like I can't pretend to drink the Kool-Aid and act as if I'm super hyped on everything I'm seeing out there. Not all the time. Like some people make really cool stuff, but I have gone to events before and like shows where I'm excited to sort of meet people and kind of connect, and then I get like this weird cool guy vibe, and immediately like I'm done. Like I just immediately lose interest when I get that feeling. And I know it's stupid, and it's probably just like the old like hardcore kid, like, oh, this inclusive thing, like I'm not into that, like this is whack. But I get where it comes from, and I understand why a lot of people are sort of defensive in their art scene about who's coming in and what, like how they're gonna have a career over some other person. Like it's completely stupid, but there's a reason for it, I guess. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's essentially to kind of make sure like people are in it for the right reasons. And in Boston, there's like a lot of people that have what they call like an art career, but really all it is that they have the privilege and means to sort of live a lifestyle that allows them to essentially have an Instagram career. Dude, I feel you. I have to bite my tongue all the time when I when I go to stuff, but it's like I'm not there to like talk shit. Like that's not my goal when I go places, but I get that like a lot. Like I see a lot of trash out there, but my goal isn't to like talk shit. Like I get it. Like people are doing their best, but yeah, dude, definitely I've bitten my tongue a couple times when I really wanted to say some things that weren't so nice. But it's hard. It gets hard to do that sometimes. I'll catch myself all the time just like getting annoyed. Pittsburgh. I've never been to Pittsburgh. I want to check Pittsburgh scene out. Hmm. Yeah, that's cool, man. I appreciate that. I'll definitely feel free to hit me up. I'm looking to like branch out and do stuff. Sorry, it's hard to like read the comments and draw. I put the mic on the right side because I'm left-handed, so I'm like trying to look at the screen, but like the display for all the text is over in the corner, so I can't really see it. But yeah, dude, that's sick. I'd be down to check out. I'm looking to branch out and hit up more cities this year and do more like fine art stuff. I want to get back into painting, but I just redid my apartment studio space. So I had all my equipment in here for a long time, but I just got back. I've been gone for like a month. I've been staying with a friend while this whole thing's going on in the world. And yeah, I just haven't been back. So I came back like a few days ago, 2 days ago, and I'm like setting it all up. Okay. Pittsburgh suburb. I'm getting confused here. All right. Mount Washington. Huh. Okay. Sorry. So I'm trying to like keep up. Um, Yeah, dude, I want to see more cities. I want to like do more toy stuff again, kind of like get back into painting walls, but I've been a little hesitant to get back into doing like the mural thing because for a while I was a little bummed out and like burned out because there's a lot of walls that go up here that are super whack, and I usually when I want to paint walls I go to like another city now, or like I go to like a town over even, just because I'm not really feeling what's going up right now. And nothing against a lot of the people that are doing stuff that know me locally. There's just like I want to do other things that aren't happening right now as far as like walls go. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Pittsburgh. Actually, I have one buddy that's from there. That like, when I was like in high school, like he grew up there for most of his life, and he would always just talk about how it's like the greatest place ever. I went to high school on like Cape Cod, which is like our weird vacationy area of Massachusetts, which is not Boston. A lot of people from Cape are like, it's Boston. Like, it's not Boston. I'm not from there, but like I went to high school there, like graduated high school there. And everyone that lives there, for the most part, while I was going to high school, was not from there. And they all would talk about how like where they lived was so much better before. Yeah, dude. That's what I've been looking for. I live in one of the most overpriced cities you can imagine. Like, in my opinion, I don't really think Boston is worth the price tag. It's a lot of hype. Like for the quality of life in comparison to other cities, it's just like, why do I pay so much for like the bare minimum? Like, I pretty much just pay. I'm pretty much paying like what you would pay to live in like a really nice place in New York City right now to live in a complete dump. And that's just kind of like the social norms of Boston. Everyone lives in really crappy like, apartments that are like pretty run down and old. And it's not even always the landlord's fault. It's just like there's the supply and demand is so high. There's almost no motivation for them to put money into a building because the supply and demand for housing in Boston, at least where I am, is like so insane. Yeah, dude, I'd be down to like check out other cities. I was looking at Detroit for a long time because it's just everything is kind of lawless, and everyone I like know from there tells me all the time like they can go out and paint. Like that's really what I kind of want to get back into. The graph scene in Boston has really died down over the last couple of years with the buff getting really strong, and I just kind of want to get back to that stuff and kind of get back into doing tattoo stuff. Had an apprenticeship here, and then unfortunately I had to have a big surgery on one of my ankles, and yeah, like lost that opportunity unfortunately. But I do still miss it. I do miss painting Tattoo Flash, and I really would like to get back into it and just kind of tattoo and do the things I want to do. But obviously, that world is going to be completely different once this virus gets to some like area of stability, I guess, or starts leveling off. It's the whole industry across the board for a lot of things is going to change dramatically, and I know tattooing is going to be another one of those things that definitely changes quite a bit. So we'll see see what my plans are after things kind of level out. All right, so I'm getting the wings sketched now. Tattoo Wild West, that's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah, dude. That would be sick. I think that's kind of like I've looked at other places that the scene for at least for tattooing looks still pretty old school and wild, and other than like Virginia, I've heard some stories for sure. I have like a lot of friends that are, tattoo artists around here, and they travel a lot, and they always tell me like the craziest shit, which is awesome to hear. Like that's still a thing going on. But yeah, like I haven't really been involved in a tattoo shop in like over 5 years. Dude, I see it posts of people that I know have like an infinity symbol tattoo that are like, I need to go get tattooed like right now, and it's like the only tattoo they have. They got like 6 years ago, and they're like ready to start banging on the door of tattoo shops to get tattooed right now. It's absolutely hilarious. No tattoo laws in Pennsylvania. Yikes. That's got to be intense. I bet there's a lot of kitchen wizards out there really, really fucking people up. That's crazy. Yeah, Boston has some of the strictest, actually, all of Massachusetts really has some of the strictest laws when it comes to tattooing. Certain areas of the city are just insane what it takes to get just a license, and that whole process is just crazy. When I was trying to do that a few years ago when I was an apprentice, it was just the amount of hoops you had to jump through just to be in a shop was insane. I bet there's some sick artists out there. I think the problem is that there's a lot of bad artists that, especially if there's a place with like really no laws on tattooing. Yeah, come right back, dude. We're hanging out. Yeah, but I bet that's like a big thing where like there's great artists, but unfortunately there's a lot of other artists that maybe aren't in the shop, kind of watering down what people think is possible in a scene. And that really sucks. Boston used to have a bit of that, but it's starting to level out. Most of the artists that are really talented aren't really from Boston. They're from other suburban towns and stuff around, or they like moved here from somewhere else. But it's getting better because tattooing's been legal here for almost 20 years now. I think it was like 2001 or something when they made it legal here. That's crazy that there's no health inspectors. That's just insane. Yeah, like in Boston, you need a permit pretty much to buy a different brand of needles. That's like when I was trying to apprentice, it was just crazy. Like everything you did was so heavily regulated for such a long time. I'm sure it's gotten better. I haven't really been involved on a day-to-day basis, and like my friends that tattoo don't want to talk tattooing all the time when we hang out, which is understandable, like because that's all I want to talk about. Like they live it all day. Yeah, that I see that a lot too. Even here, where there's artists that are even like just starting out apprentices, that'll happen a lot where the demand for a style or a trend is so high, and then they'll try to pull something in that they just don't really have figured out yet. It sucks, but I mean like that's how apprentices used to learn anyway. But it's scratcher heaven really when you have conditions like that. From what it sounds like, I can't even yeah, I can't even imagine how many cover-ups go down. But if you're a cover-up artist, it's got to be a sick city to be in. All right, so I got like the basic sketch of this down. It's looking okay. It's not the best. I probably should have did the wings on a separate layer now that I'm looking at it, but when I do the actual illustration, I'll probably do that. 2 months wait's pretty sick. I think that's good if you like a shop has an artist or any artist or amount of artists with that much of a waiting list. It's got to be a really awesome shop. I got so picky over the years of just being really into tattooing, where I just like knew the artist I wanted to be tattooed by, but not necessarily knowing what I wanted from them. To where I'm like, I could be on a waiting list for, you could keep me on that waiting list for like 6 months and I'll probably still not have it completely figured out of what I want to get yet. So bad with that stuff. Like I know like things I want to get, but then I'm like, where do I want that exact piece to be from that exact artist? All right, so back to the drawing, tattoo ranting over for the time being. So I got the basic sketch down of the cicada here. I made it very skinny. They're actually like really short and fat, so this doesn't really look the best. So I'm going to keep this as like a base sketch. We're going to sketch over this in red, which is normally the first color to start with, but we'll just do that reverse today on a new layer. And then I'm going to kind of like open up the body and widen it and manipulate things a little bit to get the sketch where I want it. And then we'll do a final trace over that. And then we'll start rendering this out. I'm getting a little hungry though, so I might order a pizza around 6:30 and take like a mini break, and then I'll be back doing the live stream stuff. But it looks like we got 5 views, so guys, thank you for checking out the live stream. So this is the first one successfully on YouTube. And then I'm looking into Twitch and all that other stuff, but I hear a lot of good and I hear a lot of bad things about those streaming services. And yeah, I don't know what's up with the color differences between the screens of like what I see on screen and what you see on screen. What you guys are seeing on screen is way brighter than what I'm seeing on screen. So I gotta get that figured out. I'm not sure if that's like a weird connectivity thing. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna try to change the body up a little bit. Now, when I do stuff like this where I'm doing manipulations, there's a few things I like to try first before I actually start sketching. I have the new layer, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually duplicate the other layer and then turn the opacity of the original down quite a bit. And then on this new layer, I'm going to do a fill, and we're going to do an overlay or a clipping mask. So the clipping mask essentially just makes the drawing red underneath it, and then I'll merge those so I have 2 different drawings. And then I'll bring the opacity of this one, let's keep it at like around 50, because I think that what I did was a little too light. And now that I have this one here, we can actually manipulate different sections of it, but we're going to manipulate pretty much the whole thing. So we'll go into this selection here. We have this uniform distort. We're going to do freeform, and we're going to turn the magnetics off. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to push, we're going to push this down so we can kind of see where the body is. And then we're just going to bring it up a little bit. So it's not terrible. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more, and then I'm going to widen it with magnetics on so both sides open up at the same time. Oh, that didn't work. Hang on. I'm trying to remember how to do this. Uniform, scaling, freeform. Sorry, guys. I'm like trying to remember all the fast shortcuts in Procreate, and I'm doing it completely wrong. All right. There we go. And then if we go to, where is it? Yeah, fit to screen's the one. That's the one that I always forget about. And then we'll do uniform, and then we'll scale this down quite a bit. There we go. All right, so the body looks better on this one, but the wings of the other one, I kind of prefer how far those go down and how they shape. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take the eraser tool. I'm going to erase the wings on here and try to keep the body underneath, and then we'll try to figure out how we can merge these together. So I'll just grab the eraser, and what I use for the eraser is typically the studio pen if I'm trying to get really tight lines, but this is a pretty big area to erase. So let's just see. Yeah, it's doing okay. There's a way to turn on like a little cursor, I think, so you can see where you're erasing, but I don't remember how to do that, and I don't want to try to figure out while I'm on the stream, but I believe there is a way to do that, to like make a cursor or something. All right, So that's the body. We erased the old wings. And now I'm just going to put this red layer below the blue and then bring the opacity of the blue layers up a little bit. You should do some live casting. I would watch, even if that stream was like 6 hours, I'd be there. I'd be there, man. I'd be so down to see that. I'm absolutely obsessed watching process videos of anything to do with casting. Like I'm watching like old dads make pen blanks because I'm that pumped. I'm like, yes, finally. I would be so down to watch some casting stuff. I actually just pulled my pressure pot the other day out of my bedroom. I know in my bedroom, it's like the worst place you could have one of those. It's not like connected or anything, but still that thing is rough and really beat up and I need to get a new one, or make a new one. And I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially with everything going on. Yeah, man, I've been like literally watching the most crazy rando casting videos I can find for like anything resin, just to kind of like get back into the scene. I want to get back into making toys again so badly. Okay, so got the wings and everything kind of figured out. The body's pretty much where I want it. So getting a little confusing with the head here, so I'm going to erase a bit more on this blue layer and then merge these, I think. Yeah, just so I can kind of see. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. Bring that down. All right, so we got pretty much the basic sketch figured out. It's not looking too bad. Yeah, we can erase most of this stuff in here. All right, so that's kind of how I get the basic sketch down. Yo, yeah, set up a second pot, man. That would be sick. I'd be really pumped to see that stuff. Yeah, the cooking show. Yeah, real Martha Stewart with that. That'd be hilarious. I thought about doing stuff like that too before in the past, where I'm like, and here it is already made. I would love to see that though. That'd be fun. Want to try to add more like personality to my videos, but I just don't. I don't know. Like I don't care enough. I'm trying to get better about it. I want to make more entertaining things, but I would just be laughing the entire time, and I'd have to film like 1,000 takes. Good casting vids. You guys should link up and watch each other's content. I'm like definitely pumped to see though. If you start doing more of the casting stuff, I'd be so hyped to watch all that stuff. All right, so I'm going to switch to a different brush. This is the Debaser Inkers brush. I believe this is True Grit or Retro Supply, one of the two. They're like pretty much the same, or they make a lot of similar products, and I always mix them up. So sorry to those brands, but I'm going to use a black inking color right now with one of these brushes on a new layer above, and then I'm going to go and turn the assist on. So if you go down to drawing assist, all right, so assist is put on. It's ready to go. Let's see. And I'm just going to kind of go pretty slow. I didn't check my brush. There we go. I'm going to adjust the sizing a little bit too. Yeah, dude, start making art vids. I wish I started a YouTube channel years ago after how much fun it's been and like how many people I've met that are really, really cool. It's just a super fun platform. And I just hesitated for so long about doing it because I'm like, no one's going to watch. Like, no one's going to, no one's going to be into it. And to my surprise, like, people have been really, really cool about it and excited to see stuff. I mean, I got 3 whole people viewing a video right now. Pretty pumped about it, to be honest. Like, the watch time, it's like over 1,000 hours of people watching my stuff. I can't even believe that at all. Like that's just like the craziest thing I never thought that would have been possible at all. So super pumped about it. And it's been super fun because like I don't make videos as often as I probably should. But that's just because life gets in the way and I'm trying to get better about that and make more content. But doing the YouTube thing definitely wish I did it sooner. Like, it's totally worth it. All right, so we got some of the lines here. The brush I'm using's got a lot of texture, and it's kind of got a weird pressure curve to it, but I'm just going to keep everything pretty basic out of the box, you know. But you can do some really cool settings in Procreate, and that's kind of why it's become like my go-to drawing app compared to a lot of other things out there. A lot of people I know use Photoshop still, or they use like other weird apps I've never heard of, and they always try to convince me that I should use them. But a lot of them also use Procreate, and they're kind of like, yeah, Procreate's the slightly watered down version of what all these other apps can do. And like, I know Photoshop really well from just doing design stuff over the years. I just wish there was a better version for it for the iPad. Yeah, dude, meet other artists. I'm pumped that the channel can like help you meet more artists. Super cool. I That's kind of what I really want in the end, is just to build a bit of a community of people that are just into similar stuff. Like the toy stuff that I do is a bit niche, but there's a lot of people that are into that and want to know a lot about it. And there is a bit of like not as bad as there used to be, but there used to be kind of a bit of a gatekeeping mentality in it, and it's pretty dumb, but like, I understand why. Like, it's people do the research and they're not reaping benefits of their hard work necessarily right away, and that kind of creates that idea of gatekeeping. But it's getting better, and I'm kind of excited to share the stuff I've learned, at least in toy making, because it's an insane endeavor, and without having places like YouTube and Instagram to meet other artists doing the same stuff, or like other events like 5 Points, I'm bummed that it's canceled, but or at least postponed. I don't know, like the last time I checked it was canceled. But that was like one of the coolest events to really go to and meet more toy artists and meet other people that do a lot of similar stuff. I've made probably more of my more recent close friends through those toy events and like random things on Instagram. All right. Okay, so yeah, I got the sketch going right now. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like other live stream stuff I could do other than just the drawing as well. Like, I kind of want to try to do maybe some toy painting, but I have no idea. Yeah, dude, so bummed about 5 Points. I was supposed to have a table this year and everything. Um, like, we're gonna do that with Vincent Scala. We were supposed to have a table, but like, hopefully things get worked out, and what people are able to leave their house safely and not cough up a lung or whatever's going on. But yeah, I do think I want to do some toy video stuff somehow, either like painting toys or figuring out something like that. There's another toy artist that actually lives down the street from me. Oh yeah, you're right. I should do that eyeball drawing. I started it before I left my place last month. So I started like last month, planning it and got all the materials for it, and then the lockdown started, and I just left my place to stay with someone else. And yeah, I completely forgot about it. I saw that sketch again the other day. I was like going through some stuff while I was moving everything in my studio, and found it. I was like, oh man, like, I need to do this. I've been talking about it forever. I should That should be the one that I do. It's just so messy, and being in my apartment, oh man, like in my bedroom, I hate having to sculpt and sand stuff. But it's almost warm enough outside where I could do that out there. But right now it is still a little cold to be out there like scraping away. Yeah, man, I'd be down. My current setup right now for my pressure pot is so bad. I have a huge puddle of resin from a bunch of molds that spilt maybe like 2 years ago, or like a year ago, the last time I cast in it. But I was in such a rush to get the project done. all the resin was just curing, and this giant puck at the bottom was uneven. So then I poured some more resin in there, thinking I could like trap it a little bit with some pieces of metal and like pull it out. It's a complete mess. I'm kind of bummed, but I do not have a safe way to cast right now, so that's why I like took the pressure pot out of my room. Oh man, getting tired. All right, back to this drawing. So I'm going to do the body first, and I'm going to overshoot the line so I can clean up afterwards with the eraser tool. I use a more precise eraser tool than the brush that I'm using, but it's also a part of one of the True Grit texture supply things. I think it's like their halftone, or like maybe it's the eraser and the debaser set. I can't remember. I got a bunch of brushes when I first got this iPad. I was super pumped, and everyone had sales because it was just when the lockdown started, like the first week. So a bunch of people had sales on brushes, and I got so many. Okay, let's see. So yeah, the body's looking a little weird, and my reference isn't the best image, so I'm just going to kind of make it up a little bit. Yeah, dude, I need to get a workshop set up. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I was looking at spaces actually also before this started with a buddy of mine, and it's just crazy how expensive Boston has become. Like we both are just like, what? Who's paying this? But apparently someone is paying for some of a space like that expensive. I just can't even believe it. But I do need a space to work safely because I'm feeling the effects of years of painting with graffiti, like painting with spray paints and automotive paints and lacquer paints. That stuff definitely takes a toll. My father does automotive painting and like collision work and body work. He's been doing that his entire life. And I like grew up around a lot of that stuff. And now I'm like feeling the effects of my own actions of painting with spray paint and other like harmful chemical stuff. It is definitely not something I want to keep doing for sure. Getting chemical burn on your lung, ugh, it's the worst. I have like a bit of an allergic reaction to resin now. Like I had a bunch of it spill on me. Man, I wish I had a basement that wasn't infested with rodents and all sorts of crazy city lurking creatures. My basement literally looks like it's, where you go to get murdered. When I do laundry every other day, I'm like, I'm gonna die down here. Like someone's gonna come out. I guess it's not that bad. It's pretty bad. I've lived in like definitely worse apartments, but definitely kind of over this one. I've just been here a while and it is run down. But yeah, I have like a closet that I've been using in the other room to like store most of my stuff, and a bunch of stuff in my bedroom. My bedroom is super small, so it's, or at least small for all the equipment I have. So I had to had to arrange a bunch of it the last couple of days, and I actually literally just finished this morning arranging my bedroom a bit so I can make better content videos and whatnot. All right, so this is no longer looking like a cicada. I kind of altered the body a little bit. It looks a bit like a flea or a cockroach, but that's all right. We can work with it. Let's see, get that going. That's too heavy. And then I think I think that's pretty good for detailing. I'm going to add the wings now on a separate layer. Now I have a bit of a base to start with, and I kind of know where I want things to be. Man, sorry again, guys. My bad. All right. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so now that I have the body and the head kind of figured out, we're going to do the wings on another layer. I'm going to keep it with a black brush for now, and I can change the color. All right. So yeah, we got 4 people viewing the stream. What's up? I don't know if anyone new has joined. I feel like it's been going up and down a little bit. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm excited to finally have it somewhat figured out. Let's see. Just trying to see what else I got going. Hey, what's up, Emma? How are you? Hang on one sec. Let me just pull this up. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's cool that people are definitely watching the stream. I would definitely want to do more of these. That's my bad. 5 hour away on. My bad. Um, yeah, I need to like get some coffee. There's nothing open near me right now. Like I'm sure everyone else in the world, everything's closed down. There's like one coffee shop that's open, but it's like the worst coffee shop in my neighborhood. And I know it sounds like the most privileged shit ever, but goddamn, I fucking hate going there. It's like literally just terrible. I should probably stop swearing. I gotta remember that. Like YouTube doesn't like that. Um, yeah, this coffee shop down the street, like everyone there's super nice and everything's really great, but the food and or coffee quality is the equivalent of how I would imagine if I were to put coffee beans inside a garbage disposal and then pour cold water over it. That's kind of how their coffee tastes. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of get the general shape of the wing first, and then I'll add the details in there. And then from there, I'm gonna get rid of the sketch, and we'll start doing some shading. Gonna make this a bit more graphic in style in comparison to the painterly stuff, just because the painterly stuff takes me hours to really get achieved correctly, and that could be another stream if people want to see stuff like that. I just don't know if I can mentally handle painting like that tonight. All right. Okay, sick. So we got the wing on there on one side. Pretty happy with it. I didn't have the symmetry turned on, it looks like on this layer, the assisted draw. So all you have to do if you accidentally make that mistake, yeah, black tea, that's where it's at. All right, let's see. Got that duplicated. We'll flip that. So I have the magnetics turned on here, and that all that essentially does is gives you almost like a snap point grid like you would get in Illustrator, which is really nice. So I definitely like that. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit more here. That looks pretty evenly spaced for the most part. The main reason you want to make sure it's as accurate as you can get it to be as far as the spacing stuff goes is when you go to put the assisted draw back on, you want to make sure that it's lining up. If it's at all slightly off, those lines you're drawing on one side will be slightly off on the opposite side. So I'm going to go back and put the assisted draw on. Let's see, drawing assist. So assisted gets highlighted on the layer. I'm not sure if you guys can see that on the screen, but that's what that does. And then I'll grab the brush again, and we're going to start filling in the details, and we're going to just do light connections and add some more pressure. This brush reacts a little strange. If you use the like assisted auto snap feature that's built into Procreate, it fattens up the line a lot, and that's sometimes like ruins the overall like drawing itself. And you have to undo, but luckily that's like 2 taps of the fingers or like double tap, and that undoes anything that you put down. So it's very intuitive. I think that's why I like Procreate now more than I like painting in Photoshop, is how quickly I can do things without needing to access the keyboard. So I can do pretty much every major adjustment and miniature shortcut I would use in Photoshop in Procreate, but all just with my hand. So it makes it way more intuitive and a lot easier to kind of sketch really complex things very quickly. So yeah, like that last line, didn't really like how that turned out, so I can just go back a little bit. Let's see. Got these two up here. The stand I'm using too isn't meant to hold an iPad, so it's a little wobbly. So I gotta be careful with my pressure. All right, these are kind of looking like wings of a bug. All right, so now that I've completely fictionalized the anatomy of this bug and how the wings look, how the wings are supposed to look, We're going to have to try to fix it because it looks really bad, in my opinion, right now. So not super happy with how this is coming out. The reference I have, it's a little hard to see the wing pattern, and I just don't want to have to like search for another one that has a similar pose. So we're going to continue to kind of make things up a little bit as we're going along. And it's getting a little hard to see what I'm drawing, so that's why we did the wings on a separate layer. And we'll turn the body off temporarily so I can see. Yeah, it's not terrible. Could be worse. I've definitely drawn worse. All right, so we got like the general wing kind of figured out, and I'm okay with it. I know it looks kind of like a little wonky, a little whack. That's all right. We're just having fun. Usually what I'll do, this will be like the first sketch, and then if I really like the concept of what I'm drawing or the image or subject matter, I'll redraw it with a much more fine-tuned amount of detailing and thought. Whereas this is kind of, let's see if the live stream works. All right, so we got the wings on there. Looking pretty good. Let's see. All right, so yeah, the wings are up. We have the body. We're going to do some other shading. We're going to turn off the sketch actually really fast. So the sketch is done. The wing sketch is done. The wings are looking okay. We're going to clean up a couple spots. I'm not super worried about it because I want this to have some texture to it. A little too much. There we go. All right, so yeah, wings look pretty good. Up here is just real sloppy. Let me just fix that real fast. Okay. Looking pretty good. So the wings are all right. We're going to go through some of the brushes that I have in here in the brush library. I've collected quite a few. For this, because it's pretty sloppy, we're going to try some of these shading brushes out and just see which one really fits. Something kind of loose with texture and grain I really like. That's a little too big. Also a little too big. All right, I'm just going to bring that down a bit and just fill in kind of rough on the body. Let's do the body first before the wings. So turn the body back on. We'll do a layer above it in case we don't like how it looks. I guess in case I don't like how it looks. I guess it's my opinion, right? All right, so I'm going to throw in some of the shading in here. It looks okay. It's definitely messy. This brush isn't super precise, but that's fine. What I'll do is I'll typically do like a layer like that, and then I'll actually grab the selection tool and I'll erase, or I'll do the selection tool first. So we're going to use the free hands. And we're just going to go in closer. We're going to zoom in, and we're just going to go halfway on this dark black line here with that selection tool for the freehand tool. And all we're doing is we're essentially making a mask to cut out some of the artifacts there. Go in the layer. We'll hit clear. And when you have a selection, it will just clear the selection. And that's kind of how you can do a little masking effects in Procreate. Let's see. What else? All right. So we'll do the next one. This one I'll actually try to mask off. Sorry. Didn't mean to yawn again. I'm actually going to do a assisted draw on this. So we'll do drawing assist again on this layer, and then we'll do a selection and try to roughly match the other side. All right, there we go. And then just cut it downward. And we're going to go back and try to do something similar on this side. Cool. So now we have that area selected. We'll fill it in with this brush here. A little too heavy. So one of the benefits about using a selection like that is you can actually go back and start using a heavy textured brush from a distance. So I'm like way up here on sort of the top of the head. If you guys can see that, I'm not sure if you can see the brush moving. But you can kind of cheat the effects a little bit, where you throw a little bit here and a little bit here, and then size the brush down again and get a little bit tighter of detail. And then you undo the selection, and then you can kind of, go in with a slightly larger brush and feather it in. And then, it's a lot of back and forth. But not too bad. I think it looks pretty good. I think the color is maybe a little off for some reason. It's just not looking quite the way I want it to. So if we duplicate that, it'll get a little bit darker and we can merge them. But let's just try to sketch how it is first and see if it's worth doing. Sorry, I'm like super thirsty and kind of hungry. So I'm like trying to do this and not sound really weird on camera. Is it working? Okay, so I got the line there. Sorry, I got a little focus and precision. One of the cool things about the selection tool in Procreate as well is that you can draw freehand, and then if you let up, you can start by clicking down again, and you can actually make more precise selections that way, which I think that's one of the greatest features. I wish the Photoshop selection worked in a similar fashion, because this is great because you can go back and forth between the two types of selection you typically have in Photoshop instantly. You don't have to change to a new selection tool. It's all in one. Maybe it's changed since then. I haven't used Photoshop or needed to use Photoshop with a selection tool like this in a long time, because I typically use the pen tool when selecting things, because that's what you're supposed to do, I guess, when you're a professional. All right, so we're throwing in some more shadows down here. I don't really know what to say, so I'm just kind of ranting. So if you guys get annoyed, you can easily let me know to shut up. Yeah, man, you have a good one too. Thanks for checking out the stream. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I'm doing bad at this. It's all right. It's the first stream. I'll figure it out. Cool. All right, so we got that next one. It's essentially the same thing. I'm just talking to talk. I feel weird just drawing in silence, and then like the sound of my breathing or something on the mic, it freaks me out. And then constantly yawning. Let's see. So I forgot I put these little like pieces down here. We're going to avoid those, so I'm actually going to do something different for those with a slightly softer bit of shading. Okay, there we go. We're going to start that. Now I could use a tighter selection and not worry about as much of this like over spray, I guess. I guess that's the easiest way to describe it. But I kind of wanted to have a bit of that really rough texture to it, so I think it's fine. Like it's too big of a deal, but some people, they might not be into it. It doesn't look terrible. There we go. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that really light sort of misted shading on there. I'm good, man. I'm glad it's chill. I'm like I don't know what to do on these. I never know what to like say when I'm doing art videos. I'm just like, yeah, this is a pencil, and I use it to do this. I feel like a lot of other art YouTubers have like this full planned script and idea of what they're gonna say. Me, on the other hand, I just kind of come in. I'm like, well, thanks for spending your hard-earned time of freedom watching my content. I'm gonna proceed to ramble for an hour and a half on very basic things. All right, so that's that one. This brush actually kind of like, I was into it at first, but now I'm like, I don't know if I like it. I wanted to start streaming games so bad. I feel like I'd be accidentally funny because I'm so bad. I just like not picked up, downloaded like the newer Call of Duty, and I've been waiting to play it because I know one immediately I'm going to be the worst person to ever touch that game, and I can't wait. I'm pumped. But the Call of Duty mobile, which I've been playing, and I've been actually I'm surprisingly really good at that. But the console version for the PS4, I think I'm going to be probably the worst person that's ever played, and I feel like it would be absolutely hilarious on how bad I am at it. But I just don't get like as mad as I've seen other people. Like I'm like, I don't really care enough to get like angry about how much I suck on a game. But I do see a lot of those clips where dudes are like flipping out, and they'll say the most crazy shit you've ever heard when they're like losing in the game. But yeah, when I first started doing YouTube, I'm like, if it's not on a script, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to know what to say. And I'm like, here is the thing. And I'm like, oh, they don't need to know that. It's pretty obvious. That's kind of sick. A little speed run. I never really understood the appeal of streaming gaming until I started watching a couple other like random streams. Like I don't even know of who. I just like would see random clips and could not stop laughing. So I'm like, okay, I kind of get it now. It's like really entertaining and super fun. But in the beginning, I was like, streaming video games, really? And then I don't know. I like matured and realized it's great. It's just fun. That's the one good thing about the quarantine so far is that I'm just doing a bunch of random stuff I would never have time to try. And streaming video games might be in my future. We'll see. All right. Almost done with this shading. We'll move on to the wings. And I think by like 7:15, I'm probably going to like take a break and get something to eat. So I've been on for like an hour. I didn't come with any water like an insane person. And now I can't talk very good. So let me just kind of like finish this up. We'll get to like a decent point to pick back up on, and then I'm going to try to send out more links directly to people to see if we can get the stream a little bit larger. But I am pumped that 3 people have been watching pretty much since I started the stream. Thank you guys. It's been really nice to kind of have that support and recognition on here because I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to trying to share how I do this stuff. All right. And the resolution on this brush is not as nice as I thought it was at first once I started zooming in. So I might switch to another brush if it gets to the point where it looks unbearable to me. So we'll see. Okay, so we got that one. All right, sweet. So that looks pretty good. Up here is a little too dark. I'm gonna go in and start erasing some stuff. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm gonna try to post a bunch of stuff on Instagram too, and then when I come back, hopefully I'll have some food and some water, so I'm not constantly making the worst noises into this microphone. True champions for sticking around. While I figure out this live stream stuff too, guys. I really appreciate it. I could not understand what I was doing wrong when I first started, and I was just like, what screen am I sharing? Nope, not that one. Not that one. It was like 20 minutes of the stream. At least maybe even longer, like the first 30 minutes was just me figuring out how to share the right screen. Okay, so we got to the point of like a pretty good stopping point. Actually, I think I'm gonna call it now. It's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna come back in like an hour or two. I'll post it on Instagram when I go back live because more people will be available. But as far as a test goes, this was pretty good. So super thankful for you guys hanging out. We'll finish up this drawing tonight, and we'll do the wings, figure out some color stuff, and then do some simple textures. And then I'll post this probably like on Instagram stories or something, and then go from there. I'm still trying to curate my Instagram feed and be more professional on there, which is pretty lame, I know, but yeah, I'm going to be doing more curated postings so it looks nicer and it's not all random. And I have a bunch of designs from Converse I got to put up there. Yeah, man, see you later. Thanks for hanging out as always. All right, guys. Peace. See you in like an hour or two.